Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a Victoria teen accused of making a terroristic threat at school is scheduled to appear in court.
We remember the untimely death of Edna cheerleader Elizabeth Medina 1 year later.
Plus, we'll take a look at the progress of construction at Mission Valley Elementary and when the doors will be open to students.
And tonight we have 3 area teams playing in the playoffs here with Edna, Tidehaven, and Bay City. Highlight all these games coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Don Brubaker. An Orange Grove woman faces charges in Victoria for human smuggling. Victoria police arrested 32-year-old Elizabeth Espinoza on 4 human smuggling charges from Kinney County. She is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $53,100 bond.
2 women are now facing prostitution charges after a sting operation in Port Lavaca. The Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, working with the Crossroads Task Force and Port Lavaca Police, targeted a known prostitution ring operating out of the Beijing Medicine Healthy Foot Massage. Authorities arrested 53-year-old Sun Shu Chen and 49-year-old Zhenmei Yang. Both women are being held in the Calhoun County Jail with bond set at $1,000 each. Sheriff B.J. Vickery explained that this operation is part of a broader effort to tackle special crimes in Calhoun County and nearby areas.
A Victoria teen accused of making a terroristic threat will have his first court hearing on Monday. Victoria County Sheriff's deputies arrested 17-year-old Brennan Gray on September 12th. He is accused of making a threat of a school shooting at Victoria West High School and implying he had a weapon in his backpack when he did not. Gray is charged with making a terroristic threat. Monday's docket hearing will review the status of his case and lay out any further proceedings in the case.
The city of Edna and the family of Elizabeth Medina are recognizing her life this week as Thursday marked the 1-year anniversary of her murder.
25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us with the timeline of events surrounding her death. We're having a little trouble with that. Hope to get back to that later. And let's see if we can take a first look at our forecast. Chief Meteorologist, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis is downtown Victoria, and there's a big party going on down there with the snow. Did you see snow down there?
I did. He missed it in the forecast.
It might be plastic snow.
Yeah.
It might be plastic snow.
But it makes it fun. It adds to the ambiance and just the the festivities that are going on down there.
Tis the season. Tis the season. We hope to get with Mac a little bit later. Now, road work is starting that could slow drivers. The outside northbound lane of Lawrence Street will close from Walnut Street through the Mesquite Lane intersection on Monday through the 20th, so CenterPoint Energy can make gas line repairs. The road's expected to remain open to two-way traffic. The intersections of Lawrence Street with Walnut Street and Mesquite Lane will remain open and accessible. All homes and businesses in the area will remain open and accessible.
The construction of the new Mission Valley Elementary is on track to open next school year. School officials say the Mission Valley Elementary project now is about 80% complete. They plan to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony in May. Then over the summer, the original buildings will be demolished, portable buildings will be removed, and parking lot and grounds work will wrap up. The new building will open to students at the start of the 2025-2026 school year. The community passed a $25.845 million bond in 2021 to rebuild the historic campus. A highlight of this, the project will be completed within budget. The Lavaca Navidad River Authority is reopening a road that's been closed for construction. Barricades on FM 3131 between FM 1593 and FM 1822 will be removed at 10 tomorrow morning. The construction and road closure was initially scheduled through December 20th.
We are told that Mac, our First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist, is ready to go now downtown Victoria. They've got some big stuff going on right now for Christmas. Mac, how's it going down there?
We're coming to you live from De Leon Plaza downtown. It's actually getting snow flurries around here. I don't know how that's happening. We're just going to light the Christmas tree, folks. Come on down, get in the holiday spirit. And coming up in a few minutes, I'll get your weather forecast for the next 7 days.
All right, well, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button, click the notification bell. You can see our weather forecasts and all of our news on YouTube as well. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6. Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan is ending his bid for a third term, dropping out a day before Republicans are set to pick their speaker nominee.
Also ahead, a Texas House committee is demanding Attorney General Ken Paxton allow death row inmate Robert Roberson to testify at an upcoming hearing.
Welcome back. Now back to that story. The city of Edna, the family of Elizabeth Medina are remembering her life 1 year after her murder.
Can't believe it's been 1 year, but it is. And 25 News Now reporter Trent Whiting joins us with the timeline of events surrounding Elizabeth's death.
Thursday, December 5th, marked the 1 year anniversary for the death of 16-year-old Elizabeth Medina. Her accused killer, Rafael Romero, is near the start of his legal proceedings after police say he confessed to the crime.
When it comes to the gravity of what he did, I think the appropriate thing for him would be the death penalty, in my eyes.
Elizabeth was a 16-year-old high school student in Edna, finishing up a fall football semester as an Edna High School cheerleader.
She was not only an angel, she was an angel here on earth, and she's an angel now.
Romero was a 23-year-old, serving probation for a felony burglary charge and staying in Schulenburg with an expired work visa. Elizabeth and her mother Jacqueline lived in an apartment in the small town. On November 13th, that apartment was burglarized, and police say the crime may have been connected to the murder. The police also believe Romero stalked Elizabeth after the burglary. Just a few weeks later, a silver Ford Taurus belonging to Romero drove through the apartment complex on the night of December 4th. The next night, the city of Edna planned to hold their lighted Christmas parade. Elizabeth and the Edna cheerleaders were scheduled to march in the parade, and her mother Jacqueline was excited to see her daughter participate in the yearly tradition. Mental alarm bells went off when Jacqueline did not see her daughter with the rest of the cheer squad.
And I knew right away something was wrong.
Even more questionable was the fact none of her friends or cheer coach had seen her at school that day. Jacqueline sent a text to her daughter, to which Elizabeth did not respond. A group of Elizabeth's friends accompanied Jacqueline to her home, where they called out Elizabeth's name in hopes she was there. Jacqueline found her daughter, dead, strewn out in the back bedroom's bathtub. Her clothes were soaked, and she had visible stab wounds in her upper stomach area. The community held a candlelight vigil in her memory a few nights later, and her family in Nebraska held her funeral on December 12th.
I was shocked, and I grabbed my clothes and everything in less than 5 minutes, and I said, I'm ready. I need to be with my sister now.
But while her family laid her to rest, the police were hoping to make arrests. They used a string of disturbing details to follow the trail. For one, a man later identified as Romero was seen running to a silver Taurus from near the apartment the morning of Elizabeth's murder. The second piece of evidence, an anecdote from a neighbor claiming they heard 2 loud thuds and water running in the shower, a story that could explain the state in which Lisbeth was found. Finally, authorities say the suspect used Lisbeth's cell phone to respond to a friend that texted her the same night as the vigil. He also responded to Lisbeth's boyfriend at the time in the same manner. Both feared that Romero was targeting them as well. Authorities tracked the phone to Schulenburg, where they found the familiar silver Ford Taurus in front of a mobile home. A Texas Ranger confronted Romero, leading to a confession from the leading suspect. Police arrested Romero and searched his room, finding Lisbeth's wallet and several other personal identifiers. While in custody, Edna PD was awarded an ICE detainer after initially being denied. Now, Romero sits in the Jackson County Jail, waiting for his inevitable court proceedings in lieu of $2 million bond. Those proceedings have seen some delays and surprises. In February of this year, a grand jury indicted him of potential capital murder, believing there was enough evidence to take to court. In March, he did not attend his arraignment trial, shocking and frustrating Jacqueline, who had flown in from her home in Nebraska, where she moved after the horrific event. It was also where the family hosted a protest in Lisbeth's honor, pleading for the alleged killer's punishment.
She was all I had, and I was all she had.
A few days later, the defense filed a motion to have Romero evaluated for insanity by a behavioral health professional. The defense stayed active, claiming that the search of Romero's room, his arrest, and statements were illegally gained. They also claimed that the officer failed to read the Miranda rights warning to Romero before his arrest. These motions have yet to yield fruit, and the trial is still set to begin on its new date, February 10th.
Till the day comes that this monster gets what he deserves, we can start to at least grieve a little bit.
The family has felt support from the Edna community as well as their home in Nebraska. Edna created a scholarship for cheerleaders at the high school and hope Lisbeth's legacy continues on.
That's why we're here, because we are her voice. She's no longer here. We have to be her voice.
Lisbeth's family hopes that day will lead to the justice they've been searching for since her loss.
Once the trial is over, that's just the beginning of our journey, because this will not ever happen to another mother. We will make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Trenton Whiting, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Trent, thank you. In politics, Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan ended his bid for a third term. Phelan, a Beaumont Republican, dropped out of the race one day before a scheduled meeting where Republicans were set to pick their speaker nominee. Phelan never produced a list of supporters. A Texas House committee demands that Attorney General Ken Paxton allow death row inmate Robert Roberson to testify. The committee plans to issue a new subpoena to the death row inmate for a December 20th hearing. They will do so if Paxton's office does not cooperate. Roberson was scheduled to be executed October 17th. The committee forced a delay of his execution.
The Texas Agriculture Commissioner says not everyone is on the same page when it comes to banning THC. Sid Miller's statement comes after Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick announced a legislative program to ban all consumable THC in Texas. Miller posted on X, the GOP needs to find some consensus instead of constantly running in opposite directions. Miller in the past supported the expansion of medical marijuana use in Texas. Well, there's a big holiday event tonight in De Leon Plaza in downtown Victoria.
Yes, I believe the snow there is fake. Just want to clear that up with people because, of course, the expert on that snow is the person we're going to right now. First Warning Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis in the downtown Victoria with all the fun. Mac?
Well, good evening, everybody. We're coming to you live from De Leon Plaza downtown, where we're getting snow flurries. I don't know how that's happening. Wasn't in my forecast, but here Ashley Streval with the City of Victoria knows what happened. What are we doing here out in the snow?
Thank you so much, and thanks y'all for being here. If you're tuning in, this is the first time that we've actually had the Christmas tree lighting ceremony downtown at the newly renovated and expanded De Leon Plaza.
Historic De Leon.
That's right,
Plaza.
and historic De Leon Plaza, but it's been renovated. It's the first time that we're down here as part of that ceremony.
Yeah, well,
as part of our bicentennial year.
Well, I saw you up there with Santa Claus
Yes.
and Mrs. Claus.
Oh, it was such a pleasure having them.
The tree is on. Now,
Yes.
tell the folks about the tree.
Oh, the tree's beautiful. I don't know how tall it is, as you can see in the background. It's
Big.
very tall. It was donated by several vendors and sponsors, and you'll see behind me a list of all of them, including HEB, of course. But we're going to start having the songs and everything playing from 6 to 10 p.m. every day until we hit January.
Right.
So bring your friends, bring your family, come on out and check it out. It's beautiful.
Bring a jacket. You know, it's a little chilly.
cold.
And just remember that De Leon Plaza will be open every night.
Right.
They're going to have the tree up from 6 to 10.
Correct.
And it's a light show.
Yes.
I don't know who got up there and put up all those little bulbs, but they were very good.
How about that star at the top?
Well,
who got up there?
I don't know. Must have been a fairy or an elf or something. But thank you, Ashley. We know that coming up we've got a choir singing and we've got more music all night long. So if you're just sitting there wanting to get into the holiday spirit, come on down to downtown. It's really looking and feeling really good down here. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll be back to give you your full weather because got a little bit of rain on the horizon. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from the City of Victoria, the Homeless Coalition, the Family YMCA, and from our friends at Hospice of South Texas.
Main thing is to make sure that somebody is warm. You know, there may be people that you see, and regardless of whether they're homeless or they're just struggling, if you see somebody that doesn't have gloves, and I mean, it's something easy to just keep in your car and just, you know, I mean, if somebody doesn't need it, they'll tell you no.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's a great night down here. Yeah, it's a little chilly, but that's part of the holiday, part of getting in the spirit. And, of course, you can see the enormous Christmas tree that they set up here in the newly renovated and historic De Leon Plaza. The foundation of the city started right here. That's quite amazing, back in 1824. So, yes, we, of course, have your forecast. Today we had a little gusty wind earlier in the morning. That wind sort of settled down, but it did bring us a little bit of a chill. In fact, our high temperature today only got up to 60 degrees. And so, yeah, if you needed a sweater or a jacket with the wind blowing. Now, we had a little teaser of sunshine in the middle of the day, but that didn't last for long. Now we've got the cloud deck beginning to thicken up, and we do have some light showers being picked up by radar, although I don't feel anything downtown other than the snow flurries that are happening here. The rain, however, will be returning back to our area tomorrow. Tomorrow being Saturday, we're looking for a good chance of widespread light showers. Now, I don't expect any thunderstorms or anything like that, but there will be some sloppy roads tomorrow, and I want you to be very cautious. You know, it hasn't rained in 3 months, so all of a sudden with rain, the oil comes up on the streets, and they get extra slippery because there's nothing to really wash them off. Now, the next question is, what about the next day on Sunday? Well, you probably saw that big low that's out in Arizona. That is going to be crossing over the state of Texas, and that is going to be our rain maker. That is going to trigger some heavier showers on Sunday. And then by Sunday night, it starts to pull away, and we clear up. Now, Monday is very weird. We're going to pick up a southwest wind, which will actually get us fairly mild into the 70s for one day. But don't get used to it, because Tuesday morning early, big cold front. This is a big cold front. Will blow through here with a very strong northwest wind. That wind will be up to maybe 30 miles an hour, and all of a sudden we'll be in very dry conditions. We're going to see lots of sun in the afternoon, but a cold morning. We're looking for temperatures down into the 30s for most of the middle of next week, other than Monday. So, yeah, keep the jackets handy. We're certainly going to be using them. So let's take a look at your day planner. For those of you in the Port Lavaca area, tomorrow being Saturday, going to be overcast all day. We're going to see a little light rain and activity on and off. And we're only getting up to about 58 degrees. Overnight lows then getting into the 40s. And then as we get to Sunday, that's when I think will be the peak of the rain activity. We're looking for a steady rain, kind of almost a continuous shower in the early part of Sunday, and then clearing up on Sunday afternoon. It's pretty much the same format will follow for those of you in Cuero. And as we can take a look at your 7-day forecast, you'll see how the temperatures top out in the upper 50s. And then after the front comes through, we really take a nosedive. We're going to be looking at morning lows down into the mid-30s, and I would not be surprised if some areas around the crossroads, especially up north like Hallettsville, you may be even dipping to 32 by middle of next week. Now, it'll be sunny and clear, but it will be cold. That is it live from De Leon Plaza. I already had my funnel cake, but I don't know where these snow flurries are coming from. It wasn't in my forecast. We'll toss it back to you, Don. Shawna, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. He's having some fun out there, and I love his little Santa sweater to keep him warm. But this is just one of many events going on throughout the area to get everybody in the holiday spirit. So for our viewer poll today, we want to know what your favorite local holiday event is, whether that's Cuero's Christmas in the Park, the lighted parade in downtown Victoria, which I believe is next weekend. Don't quote me on that, but it's coming up. Feast of Sharing that HEB puts on, Port Lavaca's Festival of Lights, tree lighting, and the Christmas parade and Christmas in the Park were almost tied at 5 o'clock, but now Christmas in the Park has definitely taken the lead. And, you know, always a very popular event as well as these other ones.
Oh my gosh, fantastic.
Yeah, never gets old.
Oh, right.
But if you haven't voted yet, please go to crossroadstoday.com/vote and let us know. We'll have the latest results coming up tonight at 10. All right, well, it is feeling like some football weather out there, Max.
Yeah, it is, Shawna. Like I said, I mean, we got Christmas stuff. Again, all those Christmas events you mentioned there, I like all of them for sure. So maybe I'll choose all for the viewer poll. But back into football action, right? Again, tonight we have 3 teams hoping to reach state semifinals, just like Shiner did last night. I'll highlight tonight's game and some post-game interviews coming up here in sports. All right, so yesterday we had 2 area teams in Ganado and Shiner advance to the state semifinals. Again, this past weekend tonight, we have 3 teams. Can they do the same? Again, we got Edna, Bay City, and Tidehaven. One of the teams I just mentioned there a minute ago, right, is the Tidehaven Tigers. Again, last season they went to the state championship game last year to face the Gunter Tigers. This season, nothing more than the same right now. They're 11-2 record, and they beat East Bernard, remember, back for the district title there a couple weeks back. And Tidehaven is hoping to get, again, our athlete of the week there in Cale Russell. Can he play well? Jason Duran, can he make enough plays to help the Tigers get the win tonight against a very tough opponent there in the Lexington Eagles? Now, Shiner, they took care of business there last night again, getting a 14-0 just seconds in the quarter. They were shut out there for a while, some point down the field, so they needed a big play, right? And where did the big play come from? Well, special teams. Jarvis Williams saw some daylight and essentially put the nail in Junction's coffin right there. Williams was obviously excited, right, himself, but even his fellow Comanches who helped pave the way for his score.
I caught the ball. We've been practicing all week. The long snapper coming down as fast as he can. Snaps the ball, comes down. My friend Jake Semper, the guy to my right of me, got a great block. I made a one move. Number 33 went the opposite way, and my friend Tyler Harvey got a great block, pushed the guy to the sideline, and I just beat him with all my speed.
Williams there, like I said, made some big-time plays to get them a chance for a district title, but also another player as well that made some plays too is how about defensive side Carson Schutte, right? He's the quarterback, but in the game yesterday, he had 2 interceptions, yes, and that would help there against Shiner get that win there over Junction. So plays DB as well as quarterback, and he says it was, you know, it's good to be able to do a lot of things in a variety of ways to help the team win.
It's amazing. Our defense was spectacular tonight. Our D-line linebackers filled every gap that they could. They made plays. And then in the secondary, we gave a few pass plays, but stuff like that's going to happen. We just got to bend but not break, like Coach B always tells us. We just play every game like it's just another game, just another district game or whatever. And we're just going to keep doing that from here on out.
Shiner is waiting to see who they'll play in the state semifinals. That game is actually going on right now between the Grapeland Sandies and the Fremont Tigers. We will let you know later on who will Shiner play there in the state semifinals. Now, props up, like I mentioned there, to Shiner and Carson Schutte, Jarvis Williams. They're getting a big-time win. But tonight, the Edna Cowboys look to keep their season alive versus the Llano Yellow Jackets. And 25 News Now sports reporter Ray Robinson is at Hero Stadium to give us the rundown for tonight's game. Ray?
Max, your Friday night football action brings us all the way to San Antonio, Texas, as the Edna Cowboys are getting ready to take on the Llano Yellow Jackets. Edna, a team fresh off their 42-28 victory against Randolph. Edna just being a team to prove that they can get the job done no matter what the cost is. They've went this whole season undefeated, taking on Llano, a team who is no slouch either, suffering their only loss in the season, which was only in the second game of their season. So this looks to be a very fun game. Make sure you stay tuned in at the 10 p.m. newscast. I'll have first half highlights and more. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. here at Hero Stadium. Max, back to you.
All right, thanks, Wade. We can't wait to see all the action here tonight and who will advance there to the next round of the playoffs. We'll give you all full highlights. We'll give you some post-game interviews and more coming up there on 25 News Now Sports at 10 p.m. That's going to do it here for sports, though, for now. Don, Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max. We're keeping an eye on a playoff game in the Austin area tonight. Westlake versus Lake Travis. Let's see, how many pro quarterbacks have been at those high schools? Let's see, Baker Mayfield, Drew Brees.
Justin Tucker. Kicker,
Nick Foles. Yeah, that's a big game. So. All right, thank you, Max, and we're back in a moment. Texas A&M releases a new study that may interest dog owners. Finally tonight, dog owners have quite a bit of control over their pets' diets. That's a result from a new study from Texas A&M. It shows the reasons owners choose certain diets for their dogs can vary widely, with owner age making a bigger difference than income or education level. The study reveals older pets are more likely to be fed a canned or home-cooked diet. The study also shows highly active dogs, working dogs, and those living in rural areas were more likely to be fed home-prepared raw or cooked diets.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes, 40,000 people that they interviewed for this study, dog owners, and asked them, what do you do? And they said, here we go.
Well, if you look at the grocery store in the pet aisle, the fresh foods that they have available for dogs and cats now is incredible.
Oh yeah, more than ever. And we want to get a fresh update now on the weather from our First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Beddoes, who's in downtown Victoria. Mac?
Well, we're all bundled up down here in downtown because we're getting snow flurries. I don't know how that's happening, but I do have your 7-day forecast, and it does have a little bit of rain for Saturday, more and possibly heavier rain on Sunday. And then just remember that after Tuesday, we've got a strong cold front that's going to give us some mornings down into the 30s. So keep the jacket handy, get into the holiday spirit, and come downtown and take a look at the beautiful Christmas tree.
Now with that, he needs to go take a picture with Santa now that he's got his hood on and everything.
Ready to go, basically.
And just to make sure, that snow he's talking about, it's not real. Just wanted to make sure. Hey, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now after football.